you've gone 9 days, and what was it? 4 pounds, which isn't a lot, but it's definitely the right direction.
Right.
Yeah. And any progress,
right,
is a good sign.
Well, I got 4 pounds. I got more breath, and I have more energy.
So the next phase for you is going to be moving into more of an Atkins diet.
Okay.
Okay. Now the Atkins diet, the premise of the Atkins diet is that you eliminate all carbohydrate form of glucose, so that the body requires a different way of basically creating energy, and that way is using what's called ketosis. And what ketosis is, it's a mechanism. The body will preferentially burn glucose because it's carbs and burn glucose, and that's what it likes. Preferentially, it can store about a day's worth of sugar in the liver for instantaneous use. Now, after about a day, when you've depleted that, that's when you get hungry. That's when your sugar levels drop, and you get all kinds of kind of crazy sometimes. I know I tend to get really snappy. I get really short-tempered, and I don't have any patience. I think you might know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've ever experienced that hunger pang.
Oh, yeah.
that a candy bar seems to
satiate.
So that's kind of what's going on there. So in this last week, you've been eating raw, but you've also been eating a lot of sweet raw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Your body's kind of still staying in that kind of glucose burning mode. So moving into ketosis is where you'll really start seeing change.
Okay.
And that's going to be, now, the body resists change.
Mine does.
That's called inertia, it's called homeostasis, it's called a lot of things. The body resists change. And that can be a good thing when you're in the right space, but obviously when you're getting the right space, it's going to require a little more discipline, which you seem to have, at least in the last 9 days. You've done fabulous. And knowing you for the last 5 years, it's awesome.
I know.
I'm just going to say it's awesome.
Thanks. Discipline's not usually my strong point.
But it is. This week you've been on time for all of our meetings. You have been true to every commitment. And I can honestly say that hasn't always been the case to this level, this high level of integrity.
Well, that's true.
So that's another side effect. So we're going to be going into ketosis this week. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I have to be.
You don't have to be. This is a choice. This is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Health is a choice. And I got to tell you, it's not for everyone.
No.
Living the best life ever, it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So
at some point you go, you know what, suffering isn't all that, honestly. Right. It ain't all that. And, here's the thing. We are going to have battles. Whether it's battling the fight in our own mind to prevent ourselves from eating candy bars, or battling I'd rather battle to be healthy. It's like, oh, this is a battle to get to the next degree of health versus escape the next pit of disease. Most people are battling their health challenges. Mm-hmm. How cool is it going to be? The battle doesn't go away. It's going to be a battle, but it's a battle that next level of superior health.
Yep. And
that's where we're going. So that's a pretty awesome. So it's like, again, to get to the point where like, oh, I'm not going to have any cravings anymore. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know too many people that aren't really still moving through figuring this out.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Good.
It's okay. You're not alone. And even the healthiest people they're working on that next level of health constantly. That seems to be the human journey, and there's no escape. Unless, maybe with a 44 Magnum might be the only escape from the human journey.
I don't want to do that.
And that's a different form
I like this alternative.
That's a different form of weight loss.
It is.
So ketosis is going to be eliminating all sugars and sweet fruits. So, and I know it, but what that's going to do, it's going to allow your body to really start focusing on where is it going to get its energy from. And that's going to be from the fats. Usually, first 2 days are extremely challenging. And then you get into this space of serenity and normalcy. The body, actually, when you're born, you're in a state of ketosis. You're being fueled, I don't like to use that word, but you're being nourished with basically mother's milk, which is highly fat and very little sugar. And so our body is conditioned to be that way. The Russian scientists, some of the Russian athletes in the 70s and 80s, the Olympics, learned that and were fueling on fats as their primary fuel instead of carbs. So when I say carbs, I mean, glucose derivatives, pasta, breads, all turn into glucose. Mm-hmm. Sugar goes right to glucose. Fructose goes to glucose with some pretty not so healthy side effects as well. High fructose corn syrup is one of those that it converts to glucose, and there's some really nasty stuff in the body as it breaks down. So we're gonna just skip all that and go right into ketosis. Now, because you can add fat because we've got different fats in your kind of your house that you can add. We've talked about that. That's fine, but it's not going to be enough. So your body's going to have to start, being more efficient with what it has in store, which is exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for efficiency.
Cool.
So I think that's pretty much. So, how are you? Let's talk. Why don't you talk a little bit? What is your thoughts and your feelings and your challenges and all that stuff?
Well, I don't crave candy anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that was when we first started. That was your biggest fear.
That was huge. Yeah, but I don't want candy. And I was just at the store. I went and got a Powerball, and that's where I used to go get candy bars and like milk and chips, and I just went in there and got my Powerball and chatted with everybody and left.
What's interesting is when you talk to people who have been kind of really eating natural foods for a long time, when they see unnatural foods, you don't see candy bars growing on trees, so things like that, they say it no longer connects with them as food. Mm-hmm. It's like looking at this chess piece. Right. I go, it's a chess piece. I don't think I'm going to eat it. It doesn't look like something I would put in my mouth right now to chew on. It's just not food.
Right.
And that's how they look at.
Yeah, that's again
things that aren't.
I'm not even craving it. I'm really craving warm stuff. I want soup, like big time.
Yeah, and what will help you is tea. A nice hot cup of tea.
But
it's not the same.
Yeah.
It'll be an inch in the right direction of comfort food, but I'm not going to give you any illusion that that tea is going to be.
Right.
It's not a substitute for chowder.
Okay, exactly.
But there's a lot of people on the website that have been commenting, and the website is the Lars Project. We just bought the new domain.
Yeah, and thank you for commenting. Thank you for all your wishes and your prayers and encouragement and everything. Thanks.
Yeah, he can no longer escape easily at this point. We got too many people.
Oh, man.
But, so let's just keep going.
Okay.
Good job.
All right.